All right, let's cut through all the noise and hype around AI. Today, we're going to give you the actual playbook to master it. This isn't about just using AI, it's about becoming a top tier user. And we're going to show you exactly how to get there. First things first, let's get one thing straight. If you've got that nagging feeling that you've missed the boat on AI, I'm here to tell you, you haven't. The truth is, most people still have absolutely no idea how to use these tools effectively. You're still early. And that's our whole goal here today. By the time we're done with this, you're going to have the framework to move way past the 90% of people just fiddling with AI and right into the top 1%. So, how do we actually do that? Well, it all starts with pulling back the curtain and really understanding what's happening under the hood. Forget all the complicated sci-fi stuff you've heard. At its core, AI is surprisingly simple. Seriously. It's really just about recognizing patterns in the insane amount of information it's been trained on. Videos, books, articles, everything on the internet. The way it does this is through something called token prediction. Just think of it like finishing a sentence. If I say, twinkle, twinkle, little, your brain just automatically fills in star, right? Well, AI does the exact same thing, just on a massive, massive scale. It breaks all text into these little pieces, or tokens, and then it just predicts the most logical one to come next. And that is why your input is everything. You give it great, detailed input, and you give it a much clearer path to predict a great output. Okay, so here's where it gets really interesting. How do we control that prediction? This brings us right to the heart of what makes a great prompt, a super simple 4-part formula that is going to completely change the results you get. It's called the RCCF formula. First up, R is for role. You tell the AI who to be. So for example, act as a world-class marketing strategist. Bam. That instantly narrows its focus from literally everything it knows down to just that specific job. Second, C is for context. This is where you feed it all the background info, your documents, your meeting notes, your data. Third, C is for command. Be explicit. Don't just hint at what you want. Tell it exactly what to do. And finally, F is for format. Tell it precisely how you want the output structured, as a table, a neat bulleted list, whatever you need. And this is the absolute key takeaway here. Most people give the AI a one-sentence text message and then get frustrated when the output is garbage. The top 1%? They're giving it novels worth of context, and in return, they're getting exactly what they need. Your output is a direct mirror of your input. Now, to really nail that high-quality input, you've got to have the right tool. And here's a huge piece of advice. Don't try to learn a dozen different AIs at once. It's a waste of time. Instead, become a master of one. Learning an AI is like learning to play an instrument. You get really good at guitar or really good at piano. You don't try to learn both at the same time. So go deep on one single tool before you even think about going wide. So, which one should you pick? Well, here's a quick and dirty breakdown. If you're doing a lot of writing, creative work, or maybe some coding, Claude is fantastic. It's amazing at generating really nuanced, thoughtful text. Now, if you need up-to-the-minute info, or you're doing a lot of research, especially if you live in the Google ecosystem, Gemini is probably your best bet. And of course, for just a great general-purpose all-arounder with tons of integrations, you can't go wrong with the one that started it all, ChatGPT. Okay, if you've mastered that formula, you're already in the top 10% of users, for sure. But this next technique, this is what separates the true experts from everybody else. We're going to completely flip the script. Instead of pushing information to the AI, we're going to have it pull the genius out of us. See, most people use what's called push prompting. That's where you do about 80% of the thinking and you just ask the AI to finish up that last 20%. It's kind of like getting verbal directions from a friend. It's confusing and you're the one doing all the hard work of navigating. The smart way? That's pull prompting. This is like using a GPS. You just tell the destination your desired outcome and you let it figure out the best route to get there. And the best part is how incredibly simple this is to do. You start with the role and the context, just like we already learned. But then you just state your outcome. Something like, I need an email sequence that converts cold leads. And then you say the magic words, ask me all the questions you need to create this for me. That's it. The AI will literally start interviewing you. It'll pull all the necessary info out of your head. You just answer its questions conversationally. Heck, use your phone's voice to text and let it do all the heavy lifting. Now, using pull prompting is a total game changer. But to really, truly master AI, you have to make it personal. You need to transform it from this generic, all-knowing tool into your own custom-built assistant that knows you. This all starts by creating what's called a master prompt. Just think of it like a user manual for a part of your life. So a Dan the CEO manual, for instance, would have everything about my business, my goals, my communication style, my values. If your AI's output sounds generic, it's probably because to the AI, you're a total stranger. A master prompt is how you introduce yourself. Then we build on top of that with system prompts. So if the master prompt is the manual about you, a system prompt is the recipe for a specific task. It's a repeatable set of instructions that guarantees you get a perfect, consistent result every single time you run it, whether that's for a weekly sales report or brainstorming new marketing ideas. And when you combine these two things, you're not just prompting anymore. You're actually building these little automated machines that take care of repeatable work for you. And this frees you up to focus on the stuff that actually requires your unique human intelligence. And that brings us to our final and maybe the most important piece of the puzzle. We all know AI is moving incredibly fast. So how do you make sure that you stay valuable, that you remain indispensable? Well, it comes down to cultivating 3 things that AI will probably never be able to replicate. First up is taste. An AI can generate 1,000 different options, but it has no real judgment. It can't tell you which one is truly great, which one has that spark. That requires your refined taste. And you develop that by immersing yourself in the best of your field. The best art, the best code, the best business strategies. That's how you learn to guide the AI away from the generic and toward true excellence. Second is vision. Look, AI is a master at optimizing things that already exist. It can make a process 10% more efficient, but it cannot imagine something that doesn't exist yet. It's not going to have a truly novel idea for a new business or start a new artistic movement. That's our job. The ability to envision a totally different future is and always will be a fundamentally human skill. And finally, there's care. AI is fantastic at automating tasks, and that frees up our time. The absolute best way to use that newfound time is to double down on what makes us human: genuine connection, empathy, real collaboration. As AI handles more of the busy work, our ability to authentically care for our clients, our colleagues, and our community becomes our single greatest asset. So what do you do with all this? What's your first step? Well, remember, you are still early. Just by listening to this, you're already way ahead of the curve. So your first step is simple. Pick one small daily task, just one, and use what you've learned here to have AI do it for you. 10 minutes of actually doing it will teach you more than 10 hours of watching tutorials. You now have the frameworks that the world's best AI practitioners are using every single day. You have an incredibly powerful new weapon at your fingertips. So the only real question left is, what are you going to create with it?